For more than half a century, the moon has been quietly watching us. Since the last Apollo mission in 1972, no human has traveled beyond low Earth orbit. We built space stations, launched powerful telescopes, sent robots across Mars. But the moon, the closest world to Earth, remained untouched by human footsteps. Until now. Because with Artemis II, humanity is preparing to return to the moon, not just to visit, but to stay, to learn, and to go further than ever before. This is not a repeat of Apollo. This is the beginning of a new chapter. Why the moon again? At first glance, the question sounds simple. Why go back to the moon? Haven't we already been there? But the real answer is much deeper. The moon is more than a destination. It is a gateway. It's close enough to reach in days, yet far enough to challenge our technology. Its surface holds clues about the early solar system. Its environment allows us to test life support systems, deep space navigation, and long-duration human survival, all critical for future missions to Mars. Think of the moon as a cosmic training ground. Before humanity steps onto Mars, we must first learn how to live and work beyond Earth. And the moon is the perfect place to start. The Artemis program. A new era NASA named this program Artemis, after the Greek goddess of the moon and the twin sister of Apollo. And that name is symbolic. Apollo took humanity to the moon for the first time. Artemis will take all of humanity forward, with new goals, new partners, and a long-term vision. The Artemis program is built around three main missions. Artemis I, an uncrewed test flight. Artemis II, the first crewed mission, Artemis III, a landing on the moon's surface. Artemis I has already proven that the system works. Now comes the mission that truly brings humans back into the story. What is Artemis II? Artemis II is the first mission since Apollo where humans will leave Earth orbit and travel toward the moon. 4 astronauts, 1 spacecraft, a journey no human has taken in over 50 years. But unlike Apollo, Artemis II will not land on the moon. Instead, it will send astronauts on a lunar flyby, a powerful, carefully planned voyage around the moon and back to Earth. This mission is about testing, trust, and experience. Because before humans step onto the lunar surface again, we must be absolutely sure the system can keep them alive. Meet Orion, the spacecraft. At the heart of Artemis II is the Orion spacecraft. Orion is not a capsule designed for short trips. It is built for deep space. It can support astronauts for weeks. It has advanced life support systems. It is shielded against radiation. And it is designed to survive high-speed re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, faster than any spacecraft before it. When Orion returns from the moon, it will hit Earth's atmosphere at nearly 40,000 kilometers per hour. That moment will test everything. The power behind the mission, SLS, to send Orion beyond Earth, NASA needed the most powerful rocket ever built. Enter the Space Launch System, or SLS. This rocket produces more thrust than the Saturn V rockets of Apollo. It is a modern giant, built to carry humans, heavy cargo, and future lunar infrastructure. When SLS launches, it won't just lift a spacecraft. It will lift the weight of history, ambition, and decades of human curiosity. The astronauts Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts, representing not just NASA but international cooperation. They are test pilots, engineers, scientists, but also explorers. For them, this mission is not about fame, it's about responsibility. They will be the first humans to see the moon up close from space in over 50 years. The first to test Orion in deep space. The first to feel Earth shrink into a fragile blue sphere behind them. Every system they test, every observation they make, will shape future missions, including the return to the lunar surface. A journey around the moon. As Orion approaches the moon, gravity will take over. The spacecraft will swing behind the moon, completely cut off from Earth. No communication, No signals, just silence. For a brief time, the astronauts will be the most isolated humans in history. Then Orion will emerge on the other side, using the moon's gravity to slingshot itself back towards Earth. This maneuver is called a free return trajectory, a carefully calculated path that allows the spacecraft to return home even if major systems fail. It's old-school physics, but perfected with modern technology. Why this mission matters. Artemis II is not flashy. There's no landing, no flag. But it may be one of the most important space missions ever flown, because it proves that humans can, once again, leave Earth orbit, navigate deep space, survive long-duration missions, return safely home. Without Artemis II, Artemis III cannot happen. Without Artemis III, there is no sustainable lunar presence, and without the moon, Mars remains out of reach. The bigger vision, beyond the moon. The moon is not the final destination. It is a stepping stone. NASA and its partners plan to build a lunar space station called Gateway, orbiting the moon. From there, astronauts will travel to the surface, conduct long-term missions, and prepare for deep space exploration. Eventually, technologies tested on the moon will power missions to Mars. Life support systems, radiation shielding, human psychology in isolation. The moon becomes our classroom, and Mars the final exam. A different kind of space-age Apollo was about speed. Artemis is about sustainability. Apollo was a race. Artemis is a foundation. This time, humanity is not just planting flags. We are building pathways. International space agencies, private companies, and scientists across the world are contributing to this mission. The moon is no longer a Cold War symbol. It is a shared destination. The meaning of Artemis II. When Artemis II launches, it will mark something profound. Not just a return to the moon, but a return to bold exploration. A reminder that humanity still looks up, still dares to leave home, still believes the universe is worth exploring. The moon has waited for us. Now we are finally going back. Closing Artemis II is not the end of a journey. It is the beginning of a new one, a journey that leads from Earth to the moon, and someday to Mars. And this time, we're not just visiting, we're staying. A question that refuses to stay. Silent NASA says it's about science, about technology, about preparing for Mars. But some people believe that the real reason lies much deeper. Because if the moon is just a rock we've already visited, why return now, after more than 50 years? Why invest billions of dollars? Why rush to build lunar bases? Why bring international partners? And why does it feel like everyone suddenly wants the moon again? Let's explore the questions NASA doesn't openly answer and the theories that refuse to disappear. Theory 1. The moon isn't as empty as we think. One of the oldest and most persistent theories suggests this. What if the moon holds something we didn't fully understand during Apollo? Apollo astronauts brought back rocks, yes, but they also brought back anomalies, unusual seismic activity, strange magnetic regions, and moonquakes that lasted far longer than expected. Some scientists once described the moon as ringing like a bell. To conspiracy theorists, this phrase became legendary. What if the moon isn't just solid rock? What if its interior is far more complex or artificial than we assume? NASA dismisses this as misinterpretation of early data. But critics ask, if everything is understood, why go back now with far more advanced instruments? Theory 2. Hidden resources and lunar power. Another theory sounds less science fiction and more economic. The moon is believed to contain helium-3, a rare isotope that could potentially power future nuclear fusion reactors. On Earth, helium-3 is extremely rare. On the moon, it may be abundant. If fusion becomes practical, helium-3 could be worth trillions of dollars. So the question becomes, is Artemis really about exploration, or about claiming the most valuable energy resource humanity has ever discovered? NASA says Artemis is peaceful and scientific, but history tells us one thing. Where resources exist, competition follows. The moon may be the next energy frontier. Theory 3. A race we're not talking about. Officially, there is no space race. Unofficially, many believe it never ended. China has already landed rovers on the far side of the moon. Plans for lunar bases are openly discussed. Russia has renewed its lunar ambitions. So some theorists ask, is Artemis II really about us? Or about them? Is NASA returning to the moon because someone else is getting there first? Because in geopolitics, being second is the same as losing. The moon controls future space infrastructure, communication relays, launch points, deep space dominance. From this perspective, Artemis isn't exploration, it's strategy. Theory 4. The side we never see, the far side of the moon, often incorrectly called the dark side, has always fascinated conspiracy theorists. It never faces Earth, it's shielded from radio noise, it's silent, perfect for astronomy. Or something else? Some speculate that strange structures, unnatural formations, or unknown signals may exist there. No solid evidence supports this, but curiosity thrives in silence. Artemis missions aim to study the moon in unprecedented detail, including regions never explored by humans, and for some people that alone raises suspicion. Theory 5. Preparing humanity for something bigger. Here's the most unsettling theory of all. What if Artemis isn't just about going outward, but about preparing for something coming inward? Asteroid threats, solar storms, planetary-scale disasters. The moon could become a backup location, a testing ground for off-world survival, a place to learn how to live if Earth becomes unstable. NASA doesn't say this, but long-term survival planning has always existed behind closed doors, and the timing makes people wonder. So, what's the truth? Here's the reality. NASA is not hiding aliens on the moon. There's no confirmed secret base, no ancient structures, no official cover-up. But the moon is far more important than most people realize. Scientifically, strategically, economically, and when something matters that much, questions naturally grow. The real reason conspiracy theories exist. Conspiracy theories don't appear out of nowhere. They grow in silence, in gaps between official statements, in the space between what we know and what we're told. Artemis II represents a turning point. Humanity is leaving Earth orbit again, stepping into deep space, reclaiming a place we once abandoned. That alone is enough to make people ask, why now? Final thought, maybe Artemis is exactly what NASA says it is, a return, a preparation, a stepping stone. Or maybe, like all great human endeavors, it carries layers we haven't uncovered yet. The moon has always reflected our curiosity back at us. This time, we're going to look closer than ever before.